doing some shit talking. Johnny Q, man, he fucking said it. I can't stand it, but I have to say something, dude. It's my duty. So he's doing the high point Yeet C9. Now, if any of you with firearm knowledge, you all know High Point is the Pinto of firearms. I mean, the jam ratio, it's just ridiculous. I had a friend who, we went out shooting. She had one of them. Somebody gave it to her as a gift. It only held, I think, like 8-in-1, maybe it was 10-in-1. I don't remember. It's some California bullshit. That thing jammed every third shot. Kid you not. And it didn't matter how many times she took that thing and shot it, how many times cleaned it. It's a high point. It's not. You can polish a piece of shit. It's still crap at the end of the day. So this dude, though, I mean, oh man, where to begin here? All right, let's unbox a new gun. It's a High Point. Okay. And then he does like the let's put a suppressor on the High Point, all this stuff. But he takes it to the range and makes an assessment of, yeah, I'm not saying you should do this, but you could. This thing's been pretty reliable so far. I haven't had any issues. Okay, here's something I want to kind of share with you here on this one, folks. A lot of people that receive free firearms, I've got a few. When you shoot guns and you're going to do any type of social media or marketing or whatever the case may be, the company will make sure to send that person a firearm that is not going to malfunction or have issues. Now, so this is just a small factor. We're gonna go right off the bat though to the big one that really drives me nuts. So him saying that I'm not saying you should, but you could use this for blah blah blah. He can't say anything bad about it because he's worried he's going to ruin his relationship and stop getting free gear and money. Simple as that. Number 2, it's a High Point. Okay. Number 3, you need to put like 500 to 1,000 rounds through a gun. You need to beat the shit out of it. I mean, like, dude, when I got my Glock 23, I shot that thing. I couldn't even tell you how many rounds I pumped through that bad boy before I made any assessments or recommendations to anybody on it. And here's the only reason I got it. I was sent a Glock is because I used to talk mad shit on Glocks because I used to not like them until I actually shot and started carrying it. Ended up liking it eventually. I think they're pretty boring and, nothing really super unique about them, but they're reliable. But this dude, he's shooting like 3 magazines through one firearm and telling people that it's a reliable firearm when the company has put out inferior products since their inception. They are known for being cheap. You're going to buy a pistol for $100? Dude, I mean, you're better off going to go buy a rubber band gun or like a Nerf gun or an airsoft gun, man, than High Point. I mean, High Point, you could bludgeon somebody with it. They're so damn heavy. But like, anyways, if you're wondering why I'm dressed all funny, it's because I'm making fun of this dude in the video. But man, boy, I'd rather have a crossbow than a High Point, dude. I mean, like, dead serious. I mean, you could, if you're gonna go do zombie apocalypse shit, Johnny Q, at least like get your shit right, dude. I mean, a High Point, and then telling people that a High Point would be good for family self-defense and shit. Didn't you just get your ass chewed out by Vintage Warfare like 2 nights ago about this? I mean, I would think you'd pay attention to some of the veterans, that are on here as far as firearms go. These dudes have been around here a lot longer than I have, man. They know what they're talking about. But wow, a High Point. Then what's even better is they sent him another High Point. But you're telling me that isn't a relationship that's made that they're marketing and pushing gear through? Let's see. We've got fanny packs. We've got High Points now. You've got what are the Olights, which suck ass. One of the worst optics you can ever have. Oh man, we've got, let's see, horrible tactics, horrible safety. I don't know, man. Dude, maybe take a step back, take a breather, realize what you're doing before you upload videos, man. Because, you know, you might think I'm some asshole troll, but I'm just telling you straight up. You got a responsibility when you have 2 million people watching your shows, especially when it comes to firearms and firearm safety. Now, am I very practical and like, you know, I'm not the most flashy dude? No. Do I wish I had a lot of those cool ass guns that you get sent? Fuck yeah, who wouldn't, dude? You'd be a dumbass to lie and say you didn't. But fact is, are these companies watching your videos? Because the fact, you know, one of them I circled and pointed out, you flagged yourself with a muzzle at least 4 times right in a row within 1 minute in that short, man. It's, you know, I know it's fun to play dress up and act cool and all that shit, but like for real, dude, Call of Duty, LARPing and whatnot, it's way out of hand. And you telling people to use a high point for home defense or security or for carry, I can't let that shit slide, dude. I just can't, man. I mean, that's like, you know, some kid finger painting and then saying it's the Mona Lisa. That's not going to happen. Not here, dude. High Point is the Pinto of firearms. Their slides, all their components are made with pot metal, which is a really cheap grade steel, lower grade steel than 4140. And anybody that gunsmiths or knows anything about metal work and fabrication will definitely back me up on that one. These pot metals have so much zinc and crap like that in them. That's why these guns don't last. That's why they malfunction. That's why they're called Saturday Night Specials. That's why they suck. Burner gun. It's like the burner phone, but the burner gun, man. It's like something you know, Godfather, you joke about. Drop the gun, take the cannoli. You're better off killing somebody with a cannoli than the High Point. So, anyways, guys, I'm gonna go out and shoot some pumpkins, but I had to do some Johnny Q shit talking for the day. It's very therapeutic for me. I actually enjoy this. But I don't know, man. These dudes, dude, they really, now High Point, you know, besides losing your dignity on air with a High Point, if you're not going to at least grade it and talk about the shitty things and actually shoot it more than 5 times or whatever, they already know that their products are cheap. They're High Point. I mean, you can watch any of the big gun channels, read any gun magazines. If any of you guys are millennials that don't know what a magazine is, it's paper with pictures and articles in it. I know, it's a weird concept, this paper shit. That's how old I am. But this dude, High Point knows that their stuff's cheap. They brag about it. I think the only other low quality cheap company one I can think of, if I remember, is Cobra Arms, and they're actually from my home area in Salt Lake City, and their guns, dude, I mean, they're pretty cheap. I don't know, I mean, it's more of a cottage firearm manufacturer, but what's funny is when I moved to Minnesota and I was going on a hunting trip with my ex's, my daughter's grandfather, him and I, you know, hunting buddies and stuff like that, he was showing me this Derringer that was from Cobra Arms, and he's like, yeah, this looks like it's manufactured out in Salt Lake, whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay. Have you ever seen a Derringer malfunction? Has anybody ever seen that? I did. I mean, and I thought, how can that possibly malfunction? You know, because double barrel shotguns, for instance, over and unders, you can jam whatever the hell in those. Those things always work. I mean, it's simple. There's no super ton of mechanics. It's your firing pin, bolt, release, hammers, whatever. Basics, as basic as it gets. A Derringer malfunction. So, you know, when people are promoting these inferior products, I mean, it's just like you've got so many other people watching, and they're gonna take your word for it. And like when you pretend you're a cop or still a cop, and you're over there, people are playing heartstrings. People believe you because they think, oh, a person in law enforcement, first responder. You know, this guy's trustworthy. This guy's not gonna give us bullshit. When in actuality, I'll tell you what, guys. No offense to anybody that's cops or law enforcement out here, but there are, or even military. And I can speak for this part. There are a lot of great people in all those fields, but there are people who are not what they appear to be. Let's put it that way. Wolves in sheep's clothing. So more like it's a criminal pretending to be a cop in most cases. But like, you know, High Point, I'm just picturing somebody thinking, oh, this is only $150, but this guy said this gun's fantastic, so I'm going to get it. And then when it comes down to it, nose up jam, just malfunction after malfunction, and somebody gets hurt or killed. That's all it takes. So responsibility that comes with that. But yeah, that's basically what I really have to say about that, man. It just annoys the shit out of me. I mean, put some transparency out there too. If you have a relationship with a firearm manufacturer or somebody who manufactures optics or accessories or whatever, be sure to include that in your about section on your videos. Just because somebody sends you something free doesn't mean that you have to say it's good. I mean, you guys, I did that holsters one. What was it, last week at some point? VersaCarry used to send me, I got a bunch of different holsters from them. I flat out even say in the actual title, do not recommend these holsters. They suck. They're complete crap. Now, are they good for keeping your pistols? If you don't have your pistol in a case and you just have them in your safe or something on a rack, you can put them in that, I guess. But for the most part, I use them as props of what not to do. Or any of my, if anybody watches these recently, you would know that I always say that having a good holster is probably going to be one of the most important pieces of gear that you have regarding your firearm. If you're carrying a pistol around, because negligent discharge is A. B, if you have some crap holster, you are in some sort of situation where you're engaged in a firefight and somebody's shooting at you or whatever. You go to draw and you end up shooting yourself. I mean, trigger discipline ties into that too, but I'm just making a point here. Inferior products. Don't just believe some YouTubers, influencer, or whatever they call them nowadays. Do some research, check it out, talk to some people. The actual gunsmiths and gun shop owners. I mean, people that do a lot of shooting, or call up a gun club if you're getting into shooting and, go over it with them. I'm pretty sure they'll give you some pretty sound advice, because they do have reputations, and reputation in the firearm industry is huge. Being known as an inferior product manufacturer or whatnot, well, it's kind of obvious. I mean, there's a lot of gun companies that come and go, and same with optics or accessories and crap like that. So, I mean, it doesn't hurt to ask. I wouldn't ask salesmen, and I wouldn't ask, people that work in companies that are heavily licensed out to carry certain products by a certain specific brand, because they're always going to be biased on that. It's do some shopping around, look around. Don't just settle for something that is good because it's cheap and an influencer on YouTube said it was good. And that's just something to take into consideration. But I just thought I would make that point. Now, do I reach a lot of people with these videos? No, but at least I'm saying something about it. But then that's it. You guys, people can think I'm a prick and picking on this kid. Thing is you can't make shit up, man, about firearms. I don't care what people say. Oh, it's a tool, whatever. Yeah, it's a tool, but it has one specific purpose, and it's an instrument of death, and it's for killing. People die. Treat it in respect to that manner. And then also think about novices or people who don't know shooting before you recommend a product, because I guarantee the majority of the people on YouTube that watch these videos probably don't shoot firearms on a regular basis, or maybe they're curious and they're just starting to get into it or whatever. And I mean, it's the responsibility aspect. A lot of people just think I can get on YouTube, I can get some subscribers, and I can make some money, and that's not the case, especially in firearms. I mean, who doesn't want to make money, okay? But the fact of the matter is, most people don't, and most people don't immediately. And, and that's the case to it. If you want to get free gear and things like that, you have to know people, or people have to take notice to you. I mean, I get stuff from local companies, but that's just because I live in a small town. Everybody knows everybody. But, millions and millions of people, though, it's a huge responsibility. It's, and the other thing is you've got kids on here, and I don't care what people say. I know damn well that there's kids on here that aren't of the right age to be buying firearms or anything along that line, and they're checking out these channels, And when you've got, oh, I got the greatest Call of Duty gun ever, these kids are watching that and they think all this crap, and you're giving them garbage. And you know, they turn 21, they go and buy their first pistol or whatever, rifles, I don't know, and end up hurting themselves, or you know, trying to do dumb shit like reload like John Wick does and sit there and flick your mag. Meanwhile, in your video doing that, you've got your finger on the damn trigger while you're doing that. Responsibility, folks, responsibility. And speaking of that, make sure you guys vote, Democrat, Republican, whatever, I don't care. That's your civic duty. Marine Corps birthday on the 10th, Veterans Day coming up on the 11th. You guys enjoy your weekend. We'll do Single Shot Sunday tomorrow. I'm gonna go out and shoot some pumpkins and shit. I gotta take off this stupid tactical bra too. I don't understand wearing that shit. Wearing that shit when you're not out like actually doing work that would require it. But you guys have a good one. Take care.